Okay, good morning. So today we're looking at number patterns. So at this point you guys have went through last year's videos, so we're just going to go and redo the examples, okay? So we're looking at the examples for exercise 1, which is on page, sorry? 3.1. Okay. So the first exercise. Exercise 3.1. Page. Sorry? 71. Sorry, man. Okay, so in grade 10 we have dealt with linear sequences already, okay, or linear patterns, which was in the form of Tn is equal to An plus B. In grade 11 we will learn about quadratic sequences. However, for the first exercise, which is 3.1, we are doing the revision of linear sequences. Okay, this is to refresh your memory. We'll go through it. In a linear sequence, the first difference between the terms are constant, and in the formula Tn is equal to An plus B, where A is your constant difference. I'm looking at example 1. Example 1 is on page 70. Right, example 1. Page 70. Okay, so the question says write down the next two terms in the sequence. You've got 5, 8, 11, 14. So the question we ask ourselves, how do I move from one term to the next? We're adding 3. And then adding 3 again. And then? So in other words, I must add 3 again, which is 17. If I add 3 again, I then get 20. So the next two terms is 17 and 20. Is there any confusion there? Also, what makes this a linear pattern is because it has what we call a common difference. Now, how do you calculate common difference? T3 minus T2 must be equal to T2 minus T1. This is what makes it linear. Okay, and this is exclusive to linear patterns only. Alright, you guys understand? Let's look at B. The B part of the question says determine the general term Tn of the sequence. So remember, what is the general term? Tn is equal to A plus n minus 1b. Alright, where A is your first term. A is your first term of the sequence. Your first term. In this case, what is my first term? 5. Plus n minus 1 times. My d value is 3. As you can see, this is your common difference here. So your d is 3. So I just multiply this in. I get 3n minus 3 plus 5 is plus 2. The nice thing about this is we can test if our sequence is correct. How? By testing for term, we never test on term 1. Either 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's test for term 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 2 is 14. Can you see term 4 is 14? Okay, you all agree with that? You all understand, eh? What is Tn? Tn is your general term. And n is your position number or term number. Alright. See any confusion? Alright, let's carry on with the lives. Example 2, which is on page? Sorry? Same page. So the question says, write down the next two terms of the sequence. So we got the sequence, which is 2, 3 over 2, 1 half. So we ask ourselves, okay, how do you move from one term to the next? You're subtracting a half. Not so. Subtract a half. So if I carry on with this pattern, what will half minus half be? 0. Minus half, negative half. You all understand? Yes. Then look at B. B says determine the general term with nth term of the sequence. Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1t. What's my a value? 2. As the first term is 2. Plus n minus 1, and my d value is negative half. We get rid of the brackets. So it's negative half n. Negative half times negative 1 is positive half, plus 2 is 2 and half. This is my general term. This can be negative n over 2 plus 5 over 2 would have been the same thing. And of course we can test it. Okay? So we'll test it with 4. So it's going to be negative a half times 4 plus 2 and a half. Negative a half times 4 is negative 2 plus 2 and a half. Negative 2 plus 2 will cancel, so I'm left with half. And then you can check 1, 2, 3, 4. Term 4 is indeed half. If I got anything other than a half, and I made a mistake here, then that means to say my general term is incorrect. Move on. Okay. Is there any issues there, people? So with that, you should have been able to answer exercise 3.1. Was there any problems with exercise 3.1? Any problems with exercise 3.1? No. Okay, so we'll stop the video at this point and we'll then do the examples for exercise 3.2.